Well, it doesn't look like we're getting next wave 2. Yep. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Hey everybody, this is Perch. It's been a weird day. So really started kind of yesterday, today being Tuesday. It started Monday with some comments that were posted on Twitter about Cameron Stewart. It actually didn't go that way. It was first somebody was posting some comments about kind of this pervy older guy who was taking advantage of his position and doing some skeezy things. I'm trying to, by the way, to abstract this as much as possible to not get into the salacious, gossipy stuff. You can very, very easily go to Twitter and search some of these names and you'll find it within seconds because they're being liked all over the place, tons of comments, so not hard to find. This is, but I'm going to make you do your own work if you want to get into the details. Anyway, so this one post was made and then, you know, a little bit of time went by and then the original poster said, oh yeah, by the way, I was talking about Cameron Stewart, the comic artist. And that, you know, settled for a minute, and then there was a lot of kind of support that was coming in. Then some familiar names coming up. You know, Babs Tarr weighed in, who had a controversy of her own about a week ago. Then Gail Simone, Kay Lee, just you know, more and more people kind of came out of the woodwork there. And then kind of from the left field came the comment of like, and yeah, and Warren Ellis is also a big creep. And then came a pile-on of comments about Warren Ellis from all kinds of people in the industry. I love, by the way, I'm doing this video about what is a pretty insane topic, an insane day, and will become a pretty angry topic as we get into it. And there's like birds chirping in the background. So if you don't like what I'm saying, you know, you can enjoy the nature behind me. That's cool. Anyway, so this is burned forward. Now we got a bunch of names, Eric Larson, Kurt Busiak, others kind of coming in. And this is just growing and growing and growing to the point that lists are now starting to be sent around of kind of other people, everyone from, you know, Gary Groth. I mean, some really old names on here. Eric Esquivel, we know, Brian Wood, Eddie Brazanga, Derek Manning, Max Bemis, Paul Pope, Scott Lobdell, Mark Guggenheim, Tim Doyle, and it goes on and on and on with different people who were basically saying, hey, these people have been accused and or caught of predatory, inappropriate behavior. Let's get them. And so the mob is going on. Now, here's where I might take a left turn from where you're expecting I'm going to go here, because a lot of people are going to do videos, do comments about the problems with cancel culture and the problems with, you know, the mob coming at people. And this is not justice or vice versa. Hey, these people have to be run out of the industry and everything else. So I'm going to take maybe a third route. And here goes. I think that people who do skeezy behavior, like what's being said here, let's assume that it's true for a moment, should be run out of the industry. Absolutely, I think they should be run out of the industry. This isn't good. And I'm taking it from the perspective, if you've heard my videos, and I've hinted around it, I haven't used names, and maybe that's my mistake. Maybe I need to. My videos about conventions and some of the behavior that I've seen. I've seen with my eyes, meaning not heard from somebody else, but with my eyes, I've seen, you know, an artist get drunk and start, you know, grab a woman by the back of the head and shove her head down in his crotch. I've seen somebody take their hand and like shove it down the pants and start fingering somebody. I've seen pressure of, you're going to do this coke with us, or, you know, if you want to work, if you want to be a buddy, you're gonna do these lines. I've seen people. I've seen one guy take out a bottle, break it off, and try and either cut or bash somebody over the head with it and miss because they were so hammered. I've seen a lot of this stuff. And if you've gone to, you know, any of the Comic Cons, but in particular, if you've gone to the San Diego Comic Con and you just go to Old Town, which is, you know, a little bit of ways from the Gaslamp District, there's a lot of really amazing bars there. There's great tequila there. I personally enjoyed a lot of tequila. Much fancier, much richer than Patron, although my heart still belongs to Patron. Please sponsor the channel. I have seen a lot of alcohol get drank. I've seen, you know, many people leave off to go hook up. I've watched an editor and a young aspiring artist go into the little hallway in this this tequila bar that was, on the way to the bathroom, basically put her up against the wall and right there in the hall. This is what's gone on. I've done these videos talking about how this is bad behavior and you should watch it, and it does come back to haunt you. But there's one part about my videos that's just, maybe not true. As I reflect on it now, maybe is a lie, and that's, it doesn't always come back to haunt you. I think if you're at all bright, you don't get yourselves in these situations because you never know when it's going to come back to haunt you, and also because it's just not the right thing to do. But if you don't have that moral compass, if you don't have that built-in innate ability to just, keep your pants on, not come on to people, not force them to have sex with you or any of these other things, not get into weird where you meet some young artist and then you proceed over the next several months to sext her against her wishes, or kind of make kind of give her the impression that, she needs to talk dirty to you through, Twitter DMs, or, you're not going to give her a spot in the industry. Maybe you shouldn't do that stuff. Maybe that's just super bad behavior and you shouldn't do it. Most normal people, I think that way. Despite what some say about, all men have this in them, most don't. I know lots and lots of people. Put it this way. I do not ever stay awake at night worrying that I'm going to get canceled in any form because of any of this stuff, because there's nothing there. Now, can somebody make up an allegation? I'm sure anybody can make up anything. But I think I'm putting myself on safer ground because there's, I have lots and lots of people who could come to my defense saying, you know what? He doesn't do this kind of stuff. Just saying. Doesn't mean impossible, just saying. But here's the thing that the comic industry needs to reconcile itself with. The comic industry is not like a 1950s Detroit steel company. It's not, car insurance. It's not the good old boys club. The comic industry is a progressive industry. It's one that prides itself on being open, by being accepting of different genders, different sexualities, that believes women. So much so that a couple of years ago, when I would post things like, hey, these Comicsgate guys, when they're talking about, prices of comics being too high, when they're talking about how some tweet behavior is irresponsible, that stuff, they have a point and we ought to listen to it. So much so that I would have people like Tim Doyle and others kind of dogpile me saying, no, those people are hate-filled. Those people are wrong. They're sexist. They're terrible, terrible people. Okay, fine. If that's your standpoint, fine. But then why is it inside of your industry you cannot police yourselves? You run the publishers. You have friendly people. Joe Quesada many times has posted on Twitter about believing women, about creating a safe work environment, about how the trolls on Twitter are mean and nasty people who do bad things. We've heard it all before. Eric Stevenson has made similar comments. We've heard it. Okay, so if that's true, why is it that within your own companies, you can't police this crap and keep it from going to where it's going? What are you paying your HR department to do? Why is it that people have to go to Twitter? Why is this happening on Twitter? This is my problem with cancel culture, is that somebody makes a tweet and then a bunch of people dogpile on and then it snowballs. And you're right. This does not feel like justice. This does not feel like getting to the bottom of a situation and getting out the truth. This feels like a rumor that gets thrown out there with very little evidence, very little receipts, and then it kills careers. And in some cases, if it's true, let me put it a different way. If it's true, it should kill the careers. It should. Okay? I'm sorry. And I know there's people like, well, it wasn't that bad. Nobody got raped. It's like, yeah, except in this industry, when you have senior people who have a position of authority, you have junior people who are trying to enter into the industry. If you force those junior people to basically dirty chat you, that's not cool. You should lose your job. In other industries, you would lose your job. In more traditional industries, you would lose your job. But comics, the enlightened, progressive, we care about everybody industry, no, it doesn't come out that way. Instead, years have to go by, and then we have to do it on Twitter. What the hell? Does this make any sense to you? This shouldn't be done in Twitter. And so I want the comic industry, The people within it, especially the people who are very quick to write the, we do not tolerate any racism, any sexism, any of this bigoted behavior. Okay, lots of people posted that. Okay, lots of people were quick to raise money for Black Lives Matter and these other issues going on with the protests. Okay, that's your choice, and that's fine. But you can't turn a blind eye to your own industry while you're doing this. If within your own industry, Warren Ellis, if this is true, this skeezy behavior, if it's true, then at what point does the comic industry have to ask itself, Marvel, DC, Image, have all employed this guy, have all put this guy on comics, okay? If this is true, why did you do that? As people are saying, well, these rumors have been going on for years. For years. Okay, so why has it then not been addressed? What's going on, editors, managers, people who are running these companies? You have the staff jobs. The creators who get canceled, Eric Esquivel, there was lots and lots of smoke. There were lots of rumors, not just rumors, but pretty bold statements being made. Why is it that you went ahead and hired him anyway, gave him a job, put him on Vertigo, gave him a title, let a couple of shows go out, and then finally it has to get exposed through Twitter? What are your companies doing? How can you look yourself in the face at all and say that you are running any kind of legitimate shop when we have to expose these dirty laundry things? We have to basically police bad behavior through social media, not through the companies that are supposed to protect people. Again, you pay somebody to do HR. What are you paying that person to do? What are they doing? And are we spending our time worrying about, what somebody is saying on a video about Heather Antos versus what's going on with people you are paying? Now, please let me make sure everybody understands what I'm about to say, because they think, oh, I just changed topics here. I don't think that a couple of years ago, when all this back and forth was going on with Heather Antos and Richard Meyer, when all that was going on, okay, I don't think Antos poking at him and doing what she did was correct. I think that was wrong. I think that shouldn't have happened. Equally, in fact, more, because there was more of it. I don't think Richard Meyer going on and on and on about how she was just hired as a sex toy and that this was, all the rest of that stuff. That was gross behavior too. Totally, no doubt about it. But nobody at Marvel is paying Meyer. Nobody's giving him a contract and a job. From a work standpoint, you already had you weren't paying him. He wasn't employed by you. Why was so much attention going toward that as opposed to, say, you've got this these people working for you, again, allegedly doing this stuff, and everybody in the industry knows about it. If you go to any comic convention, you hang out with editors, you hang out with people there, you'll hear, oh, it's been an open secret. It's been an open secret that this stuff has gone on forever. Okay, why? You can't control what some guy on YouTube is going to make who doesn't work for your company, but you sure as hell control what contracts your company is signing to get work done. So why are you doing that? To me, the comic industry acts and behaves like it's a 1950s boys club, as opposed to the progressive industry it claims to be. If these are problems, solve them. I don't know what else to say. Am I crazy here? I don't think that this stuff is right. It's not. I do think it should be stopped. It must be stopped. I think this should be handled within the company. I feel like we're getting the least accurate justice when it has to be done through tweets. Explain to me where I'm wrong, folks, please. I'd love to have somebody educate me here of where I've gone awry. But it strikes me that the problem with cancel culture is that companies are allowing social media to basically do their job for them, to basically let the mob and the outrage build up, and take a chance of maybe nobody will notice. How can you wake up and look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm running a good shop, I'm running something that we protect our employees, we treat them well, we make sure you have a good working environment, and we're safe? How can you look yourself in the mirror and say that and then go, yeah, but all this bad behavior, we're just going to kind of ignore it unless enough people, unless it gets enough likes on Twitter, and then we'll take action? This seems like backwards world to me. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Where am I wrong? Where did we go wrong? Educate me, like I said. Like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I'd hate for you to like or subscribe based on this video. This is like gross. You should dislike. You should dislike all of this. That's what I think anyway. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Comic Perch. Jesus, what a mess. Thanks for listening.